So let me just jump right into it. The secret to surviving bad days as an Uber and a Lyft driver. Okay. Life. Life is a son of a bitch. That one that we all should agree on it. Of course, a lot of us create situations in our lives that causes hardships and problems and all types of stuff. Look, the moral of the story is that we are drivers on the Uber and the Lyft platform. And there's going to be a lot of days that's not going to be good days. And I'm not just talking about financially. I'm talking about mentally. We are more than drivers. We are humans. We have lives outside of these cars. People have family members that's sick. People going through rough patches in relationships, marriages. Everyone is struggling financially. Your children are misbehaving. People's parents and things are sick, and they don't know if the day is going to be the last day that they're going to see their parents, or they're going to get a call that their parents have passed away. Loved ones that's sick. You don't know if you're going to get a call that they have passed away. I've been through all of this stuff. And, you have people that's homeless. And they depend on driving on the Uber and the Lyft platform and doing different types of gig work. DoorDash, Uber Eats, all of that stuff. And, some days are just very bad days. You may get out there and you come to work with a positive attitude, trying to navigate the other parts of life that's happening. And you get in the car and you get to driving, and you get a customer that wants to act like an asshole. Or you get a trip that's frustrating, And a lot of people don't know how to take a situation and move on from it. And they would allow a bad situation or a bad incident to ruin the rest of their day. And that's not good. And I know that's easier said than done. But trust me, I've been through it all. I'm a seasoned veteran. And I can come to you all and I can talk to you all about just about anything that's going to happen to you inside of the vehicle. And while you're driving as a Uber or a Lyft driver. Because I've been through it, all of it. You know what I mean? Driving 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. Whew, it's a lot of driving. Now, you're going to have to understand that people are going to be people. What this rider done to frustrate you, or what this trip done to frustrate you, is not the next person's problem. They shouldn't receive bad energy from you, because for those of you that don't know how to move on from things that make you upset, that energy is going to reflect on the next passenger. And it shows. You know what I mean? So you have to know how to drop. When you drop that customer off or end that trip, you got to leave that trip and that situation there. That customer's frustration there. And move on to the next trip. And it's complicated to do that. But when you out here and you're trying to survive, you're out here because you want to make money. And you're trying to navigate what you have to go through with Uber and Lyft and all of the things that the algorithm tends to do to manipulate us as drivers. And then the problems that we have outside of the car. Things that we're dealing with, personal issues, family, relationship, financial, things that, is just everyday life. And it's complicated when you get out here to drive and it seems like everything goes wrong. I mean, everything in that day. You'd be like, oh, damn, I'm having a bad, this week has been awful. I've gotten bad customer after bad customer, poor rides, poor paying trips. It just seemed like that Uber and Lyft don't want to help me earn any money. I'm out here to work, but they keep giving me bad trips, sending me into danger zones, all types of stuff like that. And frustration sets in, and it's complicated because you have to continue to drive in order to make money. Poor performance equals poor pay. And, it's rough. But the secret to deal with all of this is to not get overly emotional, to control your emotions. And that's easier said than done, once again. But you don't have number time on your hands when you're driving. Try it out. I don't care how ignorant that one rider is or how complicated one trip is. When you drop them off, what you do is you leave the whole situation at the drop off and move on to the next. Take a deep breath and move on to the next. I know it may hurt you, but hey, the next person get in the car, say, hey, how you doing? How's everything going today? Match the energy. Turn it into good energy. Think of all of the positive things that you have going for you. Even if you don't feel like there's nothing positive going on for you, I can tell you this. The most important thing is that you woke up today to get out there and drive. That is a positive thing in itself, all by itself. I don't care if you're having financial issues, relationship issues, family problems. Seems like God just not there to support you. Nothing is working for you. If he woke you up today, you have an opportunity to make it right. It's just plain and simple as that. Oh man, I struggled. I suffered for many years, and I'm going to get a little personal with this right here. But I struggled for many years, and I kind of like still, I still deal with it a little bit, but depression, and I didn't have nobody but my mama and my grandma, but my mother and my grandmother. I really didn't even know what depression was. I didn't know what it was. I just know that a lot of changes had took place. I used to have a lot of money. and for a lot of years. I mean, I was good. Um, you know, I don't know what happened. Things happened with family. People passed away. Um, I lost friends because they were snakes. And the realization of realizing that I had snakes around me the whole time hurt me more than anything. You know, when people do things to hurt you that you would give your shirt off your back to, or when you find out, when you see a person's true colors, family members, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it is, that's a scar to your heart. I don't care how you say, oh, well, I ain't fucking with them no more. I'm just going to leave them alone. Let me tell you, you can do that. But there's a wound to your heart. I know it was mine. And I continuously I had a lot of people around me, and I just continued to brush people off. I ain't messing with them no more. I'm done with this. I'm done with that. And I had a heart full of wounds. Then I wasn't happy with myself because some things I was doing wasn't right. Always looking over my shoulder. At the time, what some of the things that I was doing in my life. Knowing that I was a better and more educated person than what I was displaying. Just a lot of things that was building up to pushing me over the edge. I started getting these pains in my chest that felt like I was having heart attacks. At the time I was involved with a younger girl. She was 10 years younger than me. I had never been in a full-blown relationship with a younger female. And this one was confrontational, very complicated. And normally in my life, if I ran into someone that became complicated or confrontational, I would get out their way because I wasn't going to deal with that, you know. For some reason, I stayed with this girl for a couple of years, and honest to God, I fell out of love with her, and I fell in love with her babies. She had 3 kids, and I fell in love with the babies. But, you know, I had to move on from her, and we would fuss, and I would get these pains in my chest. And then, you know, at that time, I also used to play a lot of poker. And I used to travel to Atlantic City and stuff and get in poker tournaments and locally and all that stuff. And I would get in a tournament, and then when you're playing poker and stuff, people are ignorant. They do ignorant stuff. And I would have these pains in my chest. You know, then I was worried about my grandmother. My grandmother was very sick. And they didn't expect her to make it one time. She was pretty much raised. She pretty much raised me, you know. And I loved my grandma, and I was worried about her. So I had a lot of things going on. I had a cousin that me and him was like brothers, 2 sister kids. He committed suicide. I didn't understand any of that. So yes, I was struggling, and I went through many years of depression. Still have some of it in me. That's where, you know, some to the weight gain. You have experiencing weight gain. If your sex drive and things of that nature isn't the greatest. If you want to be by yourself, if you're you're fine with being in dark rooms and things of that nature. If you find yourself keeping company with people and doing things that you're not usually you didn't usually do, or you surrounded yourself with a bunch of people or a person that's not good for you and you was comfortable with them, it's time to go talk to somebody. Don't be like me. I didn't go talk to anyone. And all of this was going on while I was driving. And I was driving, doing all of this. And I used to have to put a smile on my face. And I used to have to try my best to deal with how this algorithm was treating me. And I had so many bad days that I had to overcome. So I learned that I have to move on from trip to trip. So I went through it so y'all don't have to. That's why I'm talking to you. You know, as drivers, we got to stick together. I say this all the time. You know, hey man, look, I'm going to extend the olive branch. Something that most YouTube content creators is not going to do. My email address is RideshareReal1, the number 1. That's RideshareReal1, the number 1, at gmail.com. If any of y'all look at this video and you feel like, man, that you need somebody to talk to, you know, you're struggling, you don't know how to navigate this Uber and Lyft and this gig work, and you just need a word of encouragement or, you know, someone to help you feel better about yourself or your situation, man, you drop me a line and we're going to connect. We're going to connect through the email. Maybe we can talk on the phone, whatever, man. Holler at me. Because, man, let me tell you something. I've been through some shit because I created it. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't God's fault. It wasn't none of the people that I brought in my circle. I just kept sweeping shit under the rug and keeping it going. And eventually that shit's going to come from under the rug. You can't keep sweeping shit under the rug all your life. And when that shit come from under that rug, it's going to seem like all hell done broke loose. And you got to carry all that shit that you done swept under the rug out here into this world and work. You're dealing with the public. You know, whatever situations you're going through, if you're working in a building, you're carrying that to work. You got some people that like to talk about their personal business on the job. And I know you people have been around folks like that. That's not good. Some people don't have nobody to talk to. They suffer inside like I did. You know, I had surrounded myself with an individual that, oh my God, was not the kind of person that I should have been involved with. But it was a comfort zone for me. You know, gambling was a comfort zone for me. You know, shopping was a comfort zone for me. You know, I had a lot of bad days. And like I said, to overcome bad days, the secret to overcoming bad days is to navigate the life outside of the car. And when you get inside of the car, it's a new day. If it's a bad day and you're getting bad customers, riders, ignorant riders, you're getting poor trips, you only made a few dollars, a small win is better than none. Do not drive in frustration because it don't look good. It's going to create bad energy that you're going to display against the customers. So what if they get in the car with bad energy? You ain't them. Two wrongs don't make a right. And even if two wrongs do make a right, it don't have to be with you. I just wanted to talk to y'all today because I wanted to give you all the secret to surviving bad days as an Uber and a Lyft driver. Control your emotions. You understand? Take a deep breath. Move on to the next trip. Don't bring the outside life into the car when you're driving. Don't allow passengers, idiotic ass, ignorant passengers, to ruin your day. When you drop that son of a bitch off, you drop everything off that came with him. If it's a poor trip that you're frustrated with yourself about taking, deal with it. Learn from it. Remember what happened when you accepted that trip. Look at the map. Take good things from that, even if you're frustrated. Life is more than driving for Uber and Lyft. You have a bigger life outside that you got to deal with. If you allow Uber and Lyft, manipulated ass algorithm, and DoorDash and Uber Eats and all them to control your mental state when you're out here trying to make money, it's going to carry back out here into all of the bullshit that you got going on out here. And that's going to make it even worse. I just wanted to leave this video today so I can talk to you all about, bad days, because we all have them, and how to survive them as an Uber and a Lyft driver. I hope someone got something out of this conversation that I left today. I don't just leave videos just to leave them. I'm talking straight to you. First-hand drive experience, because I love you. I'm out.